Good evening. I am Bre'Nay Durant, and today I will be presenting my research project titled Assessing the Impact of Urban Green Spaces on Southeastern United States Air Quality. In this PowerPoint presentation today, I will be discussing the following topics: Introduction, the role of urban green spaces, air quality challenges in the Southeastern region, case studies and research findings, benefits beyond air quality, and finally following up with the recommendations and future directions.
First, the importance of air quality. Air pollution significantly affects public health and ecosystem sustainability, especially in urban settings. Second, urban green spaces are defined as parks, urban forests, and green roofs that mitigate air pollution through vegetation. But today I will be focusing on the southeastern region and analyzing its urban green spaces in its region to understand its impact on air quality.
The role of urban green spaces. So, urban green spaces are critical for their air quality benefits. They serve as natural filters, absorbing harmful gaseous pollutants like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides, and trapping fine particulate matter on leaf surfaces. But beyond pollutant removal, these spaces moderate temperature and promote better air circulation, which can further improve air quality by dispersing pollutants. Pollutant absorption, as discussed. Vegetation absorbs pollutants like CO2, SO2, and NO2, and this helps to reduce air pollution levels. Next, particulate matter filtration. Green spaces trap about PM 2.5 and PM 10 particles through plant surfaces. Third, the temperature and airflow moderation. Trees and vegetation are cool in urban environments and they improve air circulation. As cities grow, integrating green infrastructure becomes not just an aesthetic choice, but an environmental necessity. Next, I will be discussing the air quality challenges in the southeastern region of the United States. The southeastern region faces unique air quality challenges driven by a mix of industrial activity, high vehicular emissions, and climatic factors. So first, the high levels of emissions, such as industrial activities and vehicular emissions, contributes heavily to air pollution. The climate influences. So when the climate is hot and humid, these conditions exacerbate pollution levels through photochemical reactions. Finally, with the urbanization pressures. As urban areas are continuing to expand, this reduces green spaces and increases pollutant sources. Urban expansions adds to this problem by reducing the availability of green spaces that could otherwise mitigate pollution. Addressing these challenges requires a strategic focus on green infrastructure to balance urban development and environmental health. Next, I will be discussing the case studies and research findings. Starting off first with the Green Heart Project of Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville's efforts to combat a growing urban heat island and declining tree canopy serve as a notable example. Through tree planting and green space development, the city has improved air quality and reduced health inequities, and it was estimated that over 400 deaths could have been prevented in 2015 with increased green spaces. These efforts have demonstrated measurable health impacts, including the potential prevention of hundreds of deaths annually with increased greeneries. This case underscores the importance of equitable green space distribution as an environmental justice issue. To the right, I have an image of the Green Heart's mission, the Green Heart's vision, and their values. The next case study that I will be discussing is the Southern Occitan and Aerosol Study. This study provides invaluable insights into the chemistry of air pollution in the southeastern region of the United States. It reveals how human-made emissions interact with natural volatile organic compounds from vegetation that leads to the increase of PM 2.5 levels. This underscores the importance of comprehensive emission reduction strategies to mitigate air pollution. This study's findings have informed policies under the U.S. Clean Air Act, and it emphasizes its role in safeguarding both human health and atmospheric qualities. As discussed, they implemented a policy under the U.S. Clean Air Act that allows it to have its benefits of reducing the industrial and vehicular emissions so that this way it can improve air quality. In the image to the right, this is a description that refers to how the Southern Occitan and Aerosol study has been analyzed and compared to the behavior of various atmospheric components to show how it reacts over a typical 24-hour day. And this is known as their diurnal profiles. In the research findings, I found that there were three major bullet points that are equitable to access to green spaces. So to sum it up, equitable access to green spaces remains a pressing challenge in urban planning. Often, if promoting park programs and policies that are safe and easy for all residents, regardless the age, race, income, ability, or disability, this will allow that the disappropriately located in affluent neighborhoods will help to not leave the marginalized communities with limited access to their benefits. Offering inclusive programs based on community needs and addressing barriers such as physical limitations, safety concerns, cultural preferences, and cost. This inequality has the direct health implications that such has increased the rates of respiratory issues and stress in undeserved areas. So, adopting a social equity lens in urban forestry decision making to tackle existing inequalities will help to strengthen community buy in. And addressing this requires targeted policy solutions such as prioritizing funding and resources for green projects in these neighborhoods. So, with having the community engagement, this will ensure that these efforts to reflect the needs and priorities of the people are being met. So the benefits beyond air quality. In this particular diagram, it shows green infrastructure. So this is trying to turn the gray to green. This design shows starting from the gray infrastructure, which is we all know to be bridges, roads, parking lots, culverts, and pipes. And this leads to the low impact development, starting with the engineering assets. Permeable pavement, SUDS planters, centerns, perforated pipes, infiltration trenches. Next, this leads to the next LID, the enhanced assets. So rain gardens, green roofs and walls, bios walls, urban trees, and nationalized stormwater ponds, which leads to the natural based solutions or the natural based climate solutions. So the NI, the natural assets are the wetlands, forests, parks, meadows, lawns, gardens, and soil. So in this diagram, it only shows that if we go from gray to green, that this allows for the natural aspect of green infrastructure to be better. So describing that the less amount of plants that we are able to build, which means they are infrastructure, they are built by the engineers, that if we are able to build them based on the qualities that we have already, the natural qualities that we have, then we are able to help grow into having better air quality. Finally, to sum it up, the recommendations and future directions. Enhancing vegetative diversity. Plant trees and shrubs with high pollution absorbing and low VOC emitting capabilities. Strategic placement. Prioritize green buffers in polluted areas and create green corridors. Equity and accessibility focus. Focus on the underserved neighborhoods and ensure parks are accessible and safe. Finally, with incentives for green initiatives. This provides the tax benefits and grants for green infrastructure. To sum this up, the green spaces can significantly improve urban air quality, but strategic implementation is key. This involves planting diverse vegetation species with high air purifying capacity, strategically placing greenery in high pollution zones, and connecting parks to optimize air circulation. Policies should also address inequities by focusing on underprivileged neighborhoods and making public parks more accessible. Offering incentives for adopting green initiatives and using innovative technology for monitoring and maintenance ensures that green spaces reach their full potential in promoting sustainable urban development. In a world where air quality challenges grow daily, urban green spaces offer us a natural, cost effective, and sustainable solution. They don't just clean the air, they enhance our well being and reconnect us to nature in our increasingly urbanized lives. Let's work together to prioritize and expand these green lungs for our cities, for cleaner air, healthier communities, and a more sustainable future.